Hey everybody, I've had the worst time ever trying to film this top 9-ish video. I'm gonna give you really crappy Mac quality with very incredible sound quality and hope that the two even out. So I'm gonna first walk you through my intro, which I already filmed, so check it out. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm talking about the top 9-ish books of 2020 that I read. I want to say that my intentions for 2020 reading-wise were to read more fiction and to read more, and I did both of those. So I was able to read more books just because I wasn't in school anymore, and also because it was like a pandemic and stuff, so you couldn't really go out and do stuff, so I just read books, you know what I mean? So I also read more because of Libby, which I think I discovered in January of 2020. And my style of reading / like what I read most are, and which you'll see are, memoir-y type of things and also thrillers. So, you know, you get the best of both worlds. And also my favorites tend to be voice-driven. And now I'm going to take you through book number 1, which was Prozac Nation. It was published in 1994. It's a memoir by then 27-year-old Elizabeth Wurtzel. She lived with mental illness, and so it's a lot of her in and out of the hospital, in and out of depression. I finished at the very beginning of the year in January. She happened to pass away while I was reading the book. She died of breast cancer complications. I felt that this book was important even now. Like it was sort of groundbreaking about a confessional style of writing in terms of depression in 1994, but even now, like, I found a lot of value in this book. I don't remember it too well because I read 12 months ago. Okay, now that you've seen that, you can see my review of Talking as Fast as I Can. This is Talking as Fast as I Can. Oh, I actually have this one. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I have the Wurtzel book too. I got it from Half Price Books. Talking as Fast as I Can by Lauren Graham came out in 2016. She's obviously the mom in Gilmore Girls, which means a lot to me. But it's just, the word that I used to describe this book in my experience reading it was, quote, delightful. I like learning about people's lives from the people themselves. And a little bit of Big Magic. Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert came out in 2015. I cited it as a delightful book about creativity with elements I will happily apply to mental health as well. I took a lot of notes on this. I do say that parts of Elizabeth Gilbert annoy me just a little bit, but she says some wonderful things. Just gets you into the groove of being creative. So I'm thankful that I read that book when I did. I would like to own a copy. Okay, so this has been delightful. I hope that you've been enjoying this so far. This is awful. I'm next going to talk about, why this is 9-ish and not just 9 or 10. I read all of Gillian Flynn's books this year. She has 3 books and then one, is it a ghost story, a horror story, or is it a short story? One of those 3 things I also read. Enjoyed all of them. It's just a yes from me as far as the thriller world goes. I saw in a Goodreads review that, quote, Gillian Flynn isn't going to write the type of woman you want. Gillian Flynn fan here? Okay, next thing I have, and I have this book. So this is by gyasi. And this book is called Transcendent Kingdom. It's her second novel. Her first novel was Homegoing, which I haven't read yet. And this came out in 2020. I know, isn't that incredible? 32 years old. I mean, wow. And also, I very much appreciated Prozac Nation because she was written by then 27-year-old, which, wow. I went to a Wisconsin Book Fest event. I used to be an intern at the Wisconsin Book Festival, and so I still keep up with them. So I went to a virtual event with this book and gyasi. So this is a book about a gal who is doing her postdoc, ? I don't know, PhD, I don't know how all that stuff works, or something, and she's studying lab rats and addiction because her brother died of a drug overdose. So yes, obviously her voice, relatable, great voice coming from this character, but then her mother's also completely devastated by the death of her son, and so the mother comes and stays with her, and it's California, I think. And so that's interesting too, that mental illness aspect. And then also there's a coexistence of religion and science for the main character. I forget her name right now. Gifty. Oh, yes. Gifty is the main character. So next one I have is Normal People by Sally Rooney. This one came out in 2018. It takes place in Ireland. Seems like it. I read it 1.5 times, which, if that makes sense to you, cool. I loved this book so much. I don't think I generally like stories that take place in high school because it makes me really uncomfortable. I don't know. But anyway, this was much more comfortable take on that, since the two characters, they meet in high school, but then they transition into college. It's just a more real and raw account of love relationships than I've seen out there, that I've read, seen, watched, etc. But from what I've seen on Goodreads, some people just do not like this book / author. They say that like the writing style is annoying to them, or that the story is boring. So I'm just putting that out there for you as a disclaimer, but I disagree with both of those, and I feel that the story is both intense and fast-paced, and relatable, and I don't know if that's because of my age or my experiences. I think both. And it's also a 10-episode Netflix show, so like I was very nervous to watch that after liking the book so much. Since I read the book and then watched the show, I could hear the the thoughts of the characters, which is really weird while I was watching them. So it was really enjoyable, and they did a really good job on the show. Next book we have is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. You've probably heard of it if you're reading a top books video. It's by Swedish author Stig Larsson in 2011. So yes, this book was a yes for me. I can't believe I hadn't read this book earlier. In Swedish, so like in the Swedish language, the book that it is, title translates to Men Who Hate Women. So it's a weird, interesting take on social commentary. If you look on the Wikipedia page, you can learn more about that. I have yet to watch the movie, but at first glance, I don't think Daniel Craig is my guy for like the main character, whatever his name was. I don't think he's my guy. The next one I have is Station 11, which is by Emily St. John Mandel, released in 2014. I think it's getting a bit more now, given that the setting of Station 11 is in a pandemic. One of the huge differences, though, is that civilization is completely wiped out. Like things like electricity, planes, gas, and so it gives it quite a different vibe than what we have now, able to connect via internet and still drive and travel if needed. But I liked how, I wouldn't say that, I'm usually a big fan of this, but there is fragmented stories of different characters, but by the end they all connected like so beautifully that I had to take out a Post-it note and just like rewrite the connections in a map, so I could see all of the intricate ways that they were interwoven. Wow, I hate that sentence that I just said. Okay, and the final one I have, making this the 9-ish one, is All About Love by Bell Hooks, and this was released in 2000. Now Maria gave me this book to borrow in November, I think. I just feel like there's something really special when someone you really love lends you a book and they say that like they think you'd like it. I think I'm gonna do a blog post on this about like different myths of love that we hold, and Bell Hooks sort of debunks these in this book. So one of the reasons Bell Hooks wrote this book, wanted to write about love, is because she'd been thinking about love ever since she was young. And she said that, quote, "Youth culture today is cynical about love." And that was in 2000. So I definitely think that's still a thing in 2021 now. Haha, New Year. And also that people don't have the language to talk about love. And when I read that part, I was like, yes, that is so true. So she really equips you kind of with the tools and these different definitions and things about love and what love is. Like, love is trust, commitment, care, and these other aspects, like, all together. You have to have all of them. I think it's a really important book. It's really interesting. I would love to see counter critique of anything that she's written, by the way, like a counter of her social commentary. Just so I'm nice and well-rounded in the subject of love, obviously. This is definitely an intersectional feminist text, so yeah, have at it. Okay, so those are my top 9-ish reads of 2020. So I'm still working on my reading intentions for 2021, but I know that I want them to be around decolonizing my bookshelf, owning books that I really love, finding the act of reading satisfying, the reading and the stories. I also want to make it an intention to, I hate this sentence already, intentionally choose the books that I'm reading. That's a start on my 2021 intentions. Hope you enjoyed this video. Okay, so this has been delightful.